Change the way you think about failure. Instead of thinking that when you fail, you're a failure, remind yourself that failure isn't an ID labeled pinned to your shirt. It's a big part of growing. Afraid of failing? Everyone is, because we all know that everyone loves a winner. And, with social media, you can connect with people all over the world with the click of a button. And that means we're now connected to even more successful people to measure ourselves against. So now we feel even worse about our flaws, mistakes, and failures. And we put ourselves in all kinds of contortions and wear all kinds of masks to hide the fact that we have failed. But you know what? Running from our mistakes, our failures, it robs us of something. And that is that failure is a huge gift. You're right, Vicky. How is falling flat on your face a gift, huh? Well, consider a few things. First, failure makes you human. We all fail. Every single one of us, no exceptions. The smartest, hardest working, most talented, successful people have all failed. And more than once. They weren't failures because they failed, though, and neither are you. Think about this. Walt Disney created Laugh-O-Gram Studios, and it went bankrupt. And he was once fired from a Missouri newspaper because he wasn't creative enough. Michael Jordan, he was cut from his high school varsity team because he was too small. Einstein, he couldn't speak fluently until he was 9 years old. And he couldn't get admittance into the Zurich Polytechnic School.
Say that again 3 times fast.
He couldn't get admittance into the...
Never mind.
After graduation from college, J.K. Rowling found herself divorced, a single mother, jobless, and penniless. She thought she was the biggest failure she knew. Isaac Newton, he struggled in school, and he ran his family's farm into the ground. But you know who they all are, because even though they failed often, they eventually succeeded. Failure, it relieves us of the pressure of perfectionism. Trying to be perfect all the time, it's exhausting, and it can even debilitate us. It causes anxiety, and it can stop us from taking necessary risks. Think about a sports team, and they're on a winning streak. They feel a ton of pressure to keep that streak going, but once it's broken, they can finally be themselves again. Also, failure brings us wisdom.
Say that again 3 times fast.
When a little kid is learning to walk, they fall a lot. We don't call them dumb or stupid. We move things out of the way and let them keep trying and falling. We encourage them. Eventually, they learn to walk. You see, failure is always about learning something new. Change the way you think about failure. Instead of thinking that when you fail, you're a failure, remind yourself that failure isn't an ID labeled pinned to your shirt. It's a big part of growing. Thinking this way can help you learn from your failures, keep your sense of self-worth, and believe in yourself. It's so easy when we fail to say things like, what's the point? I already failed, I'm just a loser. This is called a fixed mindset. In other words, you've closed your mind to alternatives. The opposite is having a growth mindset. People with this way of thinking, they know that failure sucks, but that there are valuable lessons there. Instead of beating themselves up, dust themselves off, analyze what went wrong, and try again. They know that failure isn't fatal and it won't kill you. They use it as a lesson to propel themselves to success. And remember this, failure, it keeps us humble. We realize that we don't have all the answers and that there are others we can learn from. Sometimes it prods us to ask for help. And that makes us vulnerable, but it connects us with other people. And in their compassion and helping us, allows us to be more compassionate with ourselves and other people as well. When we realize that failure isn't the end of the world, we'll fear it less. And if we forget to fear failure, there are more new things that we could be willing to try. Come on, girl, give it a try. Why the hell not? Think of the new things you'll learn and maybe meet some lovely people along the way. Winston Churchill said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." So be courageous, you beautiful thing. And as always, I hope you find your happy.